son, and I ended up living in my car for a little while. And we're here to talk about restoration, so I am all about restoration and how God can do that for us. Mm-hmm. So, on this date in 2011, I was living in my 2002 Honda Civic in the Arizona desert. That's where I lived, and that's where I taught. And what happened was when I got laid off, I couldn't find a teaching position in Tucson that paid as much as I was making, because I had moved out of the classroom, and I was what's called an instructional coach, where you mentor first and second year teachers. And so I made a higher salary. And so I couldn't find a teaching position that paid me what I was making. I took a job for like 6 weeks at a charter school, and they were paying basically $2,000 a month. So that's like a $17,000 annual decrease, and it just wasn't going to work. And so I was praying about it, and the Lord said, go back to Washington and help your mom, because my family has always had businesses there. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I put all of our house stuff in storage, and I was going to rent it out. And I told my son's father, I need to go to Washington for a little while to get back on my feet. And he threatened me, and I fell into fear. He said, if you do that, I'm going to take Zane from you, and you're never going to see him again. So instead of listening to the Lord, who told me when I asked him to go help my mom, I kept myself in Arizona under the fear of man. Dumbest thing I have ever done in my life. Yes. And not only that, listen, my son's a prophet. He's been prophesying to me since he was 3 years old. He's 15 and a half now. And he told me, he's waking up on October something 2010, before all the big stuff happened. He sat up because he went to private school, and I used to wake him up every morning, no alarm. I used to wake him up, and sing to him in the morning, all kind of stuff. So he started his day well. And he was waking up in the morning. He didn't say good morning to me, anything. He just looked up to me and he said, God said, if you don't start worrying about what you don't have, you're going to lose even more. And I just looked at him, didn't think anything of it, didn't take it seriously, and just kept doing what I was doing. And then so I was, losing everything, like savings gone, $24,000 in savings I lost, trying to stay there instead of doing what God told me to do. And then that's how I ended up homeless. Ended up paying a bunch of money for an attorney, didn't do me any good, and ended up living in my car because I didn't want to leave my son there with his family, because they're not the greatest family in the world. And then eventually I just couldn't, keep sleeping in my car, so I had to get to Washington, which is what the Lord was telling me.